In this video today, we are going to relax, have some fun, learn how to make a Kumihimo bracelet. So if you feel like nodding along while listening to this video, or maybe need some background noise while you're doing something else, then keep on watching. So I might have stretched the truth a little bit. There was one point when I was pretty much a beginner in bracelet making where I tried to make a Kumihimo bracelet. I tried to make a disc out of cardboard and I wasn't very good at knotting, so I don't know why I thought I would be good at something like this. But there was one time, just one time, where I tried to make a Kumihimo bracelet and never picked it up again. Until many years later, today, I bought a disc because I am so interested in them lately, and then I just bought this weight. I'm pretty sure this is not necessary at all, but when I bought this stuff online, I needed to spend a little bit more to get free shipping. So I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's do that. And yeah, it's hefty. It really is a weight. Which, if you're kind of a perfectionist, I can see why this would be a really nice thing to have in your Kumihimo inventory, I guess you could say. But definitely not necessary for this, because all the videos I've watched in preparation for this, nobody ever used one of these. So yeah, not totally necessary, but I bought it anyway just because I needed to spend the money for shipping. And I took very short notes here on the basic steps and how to basically go about this, and this should hopefully be enough for me. If you participated in my Instagram story as well as my YouTube post helping me decide what I should make for the pattern, you might be able to guess which one won just judging by this color palette. There was an overwhelming amount of votes for this sort of rose pattern that I put out of my 4 options. So we are going to have a little bit of fun today, and hopefully this turns out way better than my first attempt many years ago. I am a little bit nervous. I am very advanced as far as friendship bracelets goes, but very much a novice with the Kumihimo. So I watched only 2 tutorials on how to braid, and I can't remember which one of them said it, but I think I need to measure my strings about the same length actually as a friendship bracelet. But really quickly, let's get all this stuff out first. Yeah, this thing is heavy. It's so much heavier than you'd think it would be, and obviously you need to use it to hold the string down as you work down, but I wonder how heavy this will be like while I'm working. If it might be too heavy, but we'll see. And then we have the disc itself, and I think 32 is pretty standard, and I don't want to make too large of bracelets anyway. This is, I think, a good sort of start. But most importantly, I need to measure out all my strings, which I don't even have a ruler around. I usually measure off my clipboard, so this will be interesting. I don't really like to measure off my wingspan because I have pretty long arms, and I feel like it's not the most accurate measurement. Maybe I'll go off of this since there's not too much string left on this bobbin. That feels quite long for me, but I think this will be a good point to go off of. And because this pattern only has 1 yellow string, I don't really want to make a loop, just because it's kind of a lot of work. It is possible though, I just don't really want to, so I'll make ties. And then 2 of my green. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, 6 of this dark blue. I don't think I'll actually have enough of that. And 7 of this color. Oh no. Well, let's find out. Kind of running out of full skeins of colors. And I don't have a lot of blues. When I did my thread reorganization video, I looked at my collection and kind of realized that I do not have a lot of just blue. I have a lot of teals and very pale blues, but not like blue. I don't know how to explain it. Oh god. Oh god. How much is this? 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh gosh. This is not gonna be enough. Okay. Let me see what else I have for a dark blue. Okay, this might look strange with this as a background color, but I think I'm going to make my blue flowers purple because for some reason I have 3 different things of this color. And hopefully that works out way better, because otherwise I'm gonna have to make these dark blue strands really short compared to my other colors. So I'll rewind that later. Just kidding, I'm going to replace this with a purple. Let's hope that I have enough of this one. Kind of worried, actually. I think I'll take this, I'll go off of the measurement of all these strings and then kind of measure it on its own and see if I have to like compensate a little bit by having them be shorter. I needed 1 more strand and I only measured 6 perfectly. So that's disappointing, but now I guess I have pre-cut strings if I ever want to use these in a bracelet. But yeah, that was a whole mess, and I just went for white because I already have a bunch of white and black, just make it easier. And I double checked that all my strings are in the right order. I'm doing it one more time too, because that'd be really unfortunate if I started and I messed it up again. Otherwise, I think I'm ready to start. I don't necessarily need to look at the pattern, because now it's just a lot of weaving and braiding off of my cheat sheet. You start at the bottom and go up, and then go from the top, go to the bottom, turn, yada yada. So this is the more relaxing section now, because all I'm going to be doing is moving strings around and hopefully not messing it up. Looks like a little jellyfish. It's kind of funny. And I fully expect to get very frustrated with this entanglement as I move along. Because now that I'm messing with it, I definitely measured these strings too long. But I just wanted to go off of what I had left of the yellow. But yeah, I guess let's start. I'm a little scared. So, bottom left goes up to the top left. And then top right goes to the bottom right. And I'm already scared because these colors are very close to each other. But just did that. And now we move on. I have a feeling this tracing is going to help out a lot. So, left to the top left. And then top right to the bottom right. And then that. I have a feeling I am not going to see the pattern show up for a while. So top left to the bottom left. Oh god. See, look at that, I've already messed it up. Okay. We start from the bottom. See, this is really confusing because you kind of focus up here, but you really start down here, and then you end up here. So it's really confusing, actually. So I should be focusing on the bottom a little bit more. So bottom to top, and then top to bottom, Well, they're already getting so close to each other. And I have a big freaking knot. Okay. Bottom left to top left. And then top right to bottom right. And then the next one. Bottom left, top left, top right to bottom right. Then turn to here. Bottom left to top left, top right, bottom right. And then kind of like to see, I finished here, so I kind of like to already have my finger ready once I turn it. And I feel like that helps out a lot. So I finished here, finger here, and then that's gonna help with all the strings that are really close to each other. So, bottom left to top left, top right, bottom right. Hold, switch. I can see how fun this is. It's very mindless, like once you get the groove going. But at the same time, once I go on autopilot too much, it's where I kind of forget what I'm doing. So I need to untangle my strings, but I'm going bottom left, top left, and that's how you usually know where you need to finish off. That is a very helpful tip that Meg Makes Crafts said. But yeah, oh my god, these are so tangled. This is even worse than friendship bracelets. I do have Kumihimo discs, like the ones that you cover over these, but I don't have enough, so it might not even be worth it. Got it untangled for now. And come up here, top right to bottom right. And turn to the next one. And this is really it. This has actually turned out a lot easier than I thought it'd be. I wish I would have told you guys to give me questions or something, because I think I've got the hang of it already. So I guess this is the part where I kind of time lapse it. Well, there's like barely anything underneath. There's like no design. So you can kind of tell the last thing you did because it kind of sits on the very top. So like this green strand is over top and this purple strand is over top, so that's how I know that I did these two. And then it's time for the next one. That's pretty neat, actually. I remember Megan was talking about that in her video, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna get so confusing to not remember where my place was, because that instance right there, I totally forgot my place. But it's actually pretty easy to tell, but I would still definitely recommend doing this trick right here. Alright, gonna fix my strings again and maybe try the weight out. I don't know if you would put it in to start or what, or maybe people wait until the bracelet gets longer and then they put the weight on, but you do kind of pull on your strings in every which direction the whole time. So I think it could make sense to put that on from the start. I guess it's not too heavy. It does pull a little bit, but it's not too bad. I am gonna have to keep it held a bit higher though. So it's kind of awkward from my view because I'm almost looking at it like straight on. But yeah, let's see if we can make some progress. I think at this point, I will just play some videos, listen to stuff in the background and work on this, and just kind of time lapse it for a bit. I wish maybe I'd like put my phone here and recorded a side view and maybe you could see the pattern just kind of work itself up, but I don't know if I could have gotten a good enough angle and like keep this completely still the whole time. But yeah, I'm gonna play something, maybe show this for a few minutes. I don't know if I'll show the whole thing. We'll see how long it takes. I feel like this would be pretty quick to work up, but I don't want to get too cocky. So I'm just gonna start playing something in the background, chill out for a bit, and let's try and get this bracelet worked up. So I had filmed like 30 minutes of a time lapse, but then this ended up taking me about an hour to do. A little over an hour, so I just decided I'll do like a little bit of time lapse, and then we'll go ahead and finish this off on camera together. So kind of can already see it. It looks amazing. I did take a peek while I was working on it, but I'm gonna take the clip off first just so it's out of the way. And this is the part I am a little intimidated by. Picking all these strings up and then tying a knot. I think I actually want to do a square knot to keep all these together. Or like half of a square knot, take one of the strands and tie knots. Just because I think tying like an overhand knot would be really bulky. And since you can see the bracelet already, I'll just flip it over. I was going to do a fun unveiling. It turned out so good. I think the weight actually made it turn out so nice because it's very tight and thin. Like way thinner than I anticipated it to be because it's like 16 strings. So there's a nice little close-up of that, hopefully. It's very cool. But yeah, you can see how stiff it is. It just stays when it bends. And if it was more floppy, it would, you know, flop around. But this is very strong. It's crazy. And it looks so cool too. But yeah, let's do the scary part. I think I'll just pull randomly from a string that's really far down on the weaving, I guess. And actually, I'll leave it there, and I guess we'll just take all the rest of the strings off. Oh, this is really scary. Actually, I should hold on to this end. Okay, so we have that string out. I'm gonna pinch it very close. You can see where it's all gonna unravel if I'm not careful. But I'm just gonna take one strand and just tie like a knot-ish. Just right at the end, right here. And then I think I'll take another color and then do a couple square knots. A little stubborn just because of the round nature of this bracelet. Square knots are square, you know, and they lay a lot more flat, so it's a little stubborn, but I think I would still prefer this over a tight overhand knot. Yeah, see, the square knot pulls more towards the center instead of laying on the edges like that. But the other side looks pretty nice, so I think I'll just tie a knot with these, just so the square knot doesn't want to move around at the bottom. And then I'll go ahead and fix the other side and do all that business off camera, because this is not a tutorial, so. Yeah, I think this turned out so cool. This is such a fun thing to do, so fun to pass the time with. I honestly thought that I would get really confused when I went on autopilot, but it was really easy to figure out, actually. There was no issue with that at all. The string tangling does get very annoying, but that is just the price you pay when you don't use this or anything to keep them all separated. And the strings aren't so much tangled as they are just kind of intertwined with each other, which is really easy to just comb your fingers through. But the sort of issue is that you can't do too many rows or else it gets tangled very quickly. So that does kind of get annoying, and it does slow down the process a little bit, but it's still really fun. And I can't wait to make so many more patterns, maybe even make thicker bracelets. But I do kind of like how thin this one is, and yeah, this is gonna look really fun. And I know I'm gonna get questions about this because we are at the end of the video and people don't watch the end, but please do not ask for any tutorials on Kumihimo bracelets. If you do, I'm just gonna ignore it. I don't want to make a tutorial because this is a really easy concept to do. Once you have the steps that you need to make, you know what strings you need and what order you need to put them in, you don't even need to look at the pattern anymore. It's all about doing those steps up and down, going around until you have your bracelet. Maybe I could do like a tips and tricks as I get better at this, or as I kind of find things I want to talk about, but I watched 2 very good tutorials, Megan Makes Crafts, Alex's Innovations. They both had really good in-depth tutorials, and that's where I kind of took notes from. So I recommend you watch their videos because it helped me out, so they're very helpful. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming along this journey with me. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.